Hi everyone, my name's Jenna. I'm the undergraduate admissions officer at Pembroke College, and I'm here today with Dr. Caroline Burt, who is the Director of Undergraduate Admissions, and Amber Cuttill, who is the Deputy Director of Undergraduate Admissions. In this video, we're going to answer some general questions about applying to Cambridge. So Caroline, does Cambridge give contextual offers?
Okay, so when we set our offers, they will tend to be as a minimum, the typical offer that we have advertised in the prospectus. So that's what you should expect, that if you're made an offer, it will be at least the typical offer. But we do take into account context when we're assessing an application. So while we might not set contextual offers, we will look at context when we're deciding whether to give people offers in the first place. So we'll look at context not as a way of disadvantaging people who've done well, but as a way of making sure that people who have had challenging circumstances, whatever they may be, whether their school was facing issues with its teaching, or whether they had very specific health or family difficulties, those are just some examples. We want to make sure that those people are not unfairly disadvantaged by those things that have happened to them that are not of their own making in any way. So we will take all of those things into account when we are deciding who to give offers to. But if you get an offer, expect it to be, in all likelihood, at least the typical offer that's on the website.
Thanks. How does Cambridge view people taking gap years?
Yeah, so this is a question that might, where the answer might vary slightly from college to college. So if you are thinking of taking a gap year and you want to apply to Cambridge, then I'd really recommend that you get in touch with some of the colleges that you're thinking of applying to ask them what their stance is on it. So at Pembroke, we really don't mind if people want to take a gap year. You're welcome to do so in any of the subjects. We would really encourage you to make sure that you keep up your skill set for that particular subject during your gap year. And that's particularly the case in subjects that are quite maths heavy. So you really need to make sure you keep practicing your maths skills so that they're really sharp when you come to study with us as well. The other thing to mention is that we don't mind if you apply in your final year of school for deferred entry, so you want to take a gap year and then come, or if you apply during your gap year for immediate entry. Either of those is absolutely fine, but it tends to be the mathsy based subjects that where some colleges might be slightly less happy about you taking a gap year than others.
Great. Different colleges specialise in different subjects.
This is a question we get asked a lot, and I think that there's quite a few misconceptions around it. The short answer is no. So if you do come to Cambridge, then your teaching will primarily be delivered by the department, and in your lectures and in your seminars and things like that, there'll be students there from all the different colleges. So yeah, you'll be mixing and meeting with people from across the university. Supervisions do happen in college, but not necessarily in your college. So no, colleges don't specialise in different subjects. That being said, there are some colleges that don't offer all the subjects, and the reason for that is just that they don't have a director of studies in their college for that subject. So don't make your college decision based on whether or not you think they specialise in a subject, because they don't, but do just double check that the college you want to apply to does offer the subjects that you want to study.
Okay, that's really important information. Thank you. So Caroline, what is the winter pool?
Okay, so the first thing I should say about the winter pool is that no water is involved. And on a serious note, let me try and explain what it is. So the winter pool is part of our admissions process. What happens is when you apply to Cambridge, you're assessed by a college. Now, it could easily be that in the year that you've applied, that college has had lots of applications and another college has had fewer. So when we're assessing applications, we're always bearing in mind that we're looking at the whole field across the university, and that we might end up taking somebody who's applied to another college if that college has been heavily subscribed in a particular subject and we've been less heavily subscribed. And it's a way of trying to make sure that the best people get in, and that's not affected by the college that they chose or that they were allocated to. And the mechanism we use in order to do this is the winter pool. So how it works, you get assessed by your college of choice, or your college that you were allocated to if you put an open application in. You go through the whole process. If they call you to interview, you have your interviews, and then colleges at that point are all assessing their applicants and deciding who to offer places to. And the winter pool occurs, you won't know it's happening because your application, there's no decision for you at that point on your application. In the winter pool, we are then looking and comparing our applicants against people from other colleges to try to make sure that we move people around in the ways that I talked about. So it's possible that you would get an offer from Cambridge in January and it would be from a college other than the one you were originally assessed by. And what that means is that you've actually got a place through the winter pool. And I wouldn't worry about that at all. I wouldn't worry about whether you're going to be happy at that college, because the truth is our students are happy across the colleges, and the student satisfaction ratings are really, really high. And the odds are that if you end up going to a college other than the one you applied to, you'll say, oh, well, I wish I'd applied to this college in the first place because it's the best college. And if that's something that lots of students are saying, which they are, then that means that people are having a good time. So don't worry too much. Just to give you some figures on it, about 1 in 5 of the students who's currently at Cambridge is at a college other than the one they actually applied to in the first instance. So the winter pool does involve quite a lot of moving of people around between colleges for the reasons I talked about earlier.
Thank you, Caroline. So Amber, do applicants need to have work experience when applying to Cambridge?
Yeah, brilliant question, one that we've been asked a lot in current times. So the first thing to say is that for the vast majority of subjects, no work experience is ever required. If you want to apply to study English or history, for example, we don't ask for work experience. For some subjects, it might be quite helpful. So for medicine or veterinary medicine, for example, it can be quite a helpful thing to have work experience. But again, it's not something that we actually require, and nor is it something that we specify what needs to be done if somebody does choose to undertake work experience. And we particularly realised that in the last year with COVID, it's been really difficult for students to get work experience, and that's not going to be a problem, and it's not going to be something they're penalised for at all. If you have been able to, or if in the future you are able to have work experience for those subjects, and it is primarily medicine and veterinary medicine that it might be helpful for, then what it is that you do for that work experience is kind of up to you as well. So you don't need to be shadowing a GP or in a hospital, for example. Perhaps volunteering in a care home might be something that you might want to do that could help with your communication skills, just as an example. So something that you can do to demonstrate that you've got the skills that will be relevant to the course that you're applying for. It's going to be helpful, but it's not something that we say you have to have, and it's not something that we're prescriptive about if you do choose to do so.
Thank you. So Caroline, because of the coronavirus, are there now fewer places available at Cambridge?
No, the university is maintaining the same number of places, so people don't need to worry. Numbers of places have not been reduced because of COVID.
Thanks for watching. Hope you found the information useful. If you have any more questions, pop them in the comments and we'll make another video.